Good morning, students of class 10. We will continue our history now. Making of a global world. In our previous class, we have talked about the 19th century, that is 1815 to 1914. We have discussed about the three flows according to the economists around the world. They have noticed three flows. What were those three flows? The flow of trade, flow of labor, and flow of capital that reshaped, that changed the world into modern. So now these three flows are very important factors for the development and progress of the world economy. Now we'll talk about today 2.1, our world economy takes shape. Now here I have written 5-6 points. You go through the point properly, you will understand a lot. Now let me explain a little bit about this. Number A, countries like to be self-sufficient in food. All the countries, they want to be self-sufficient in food, especially the food. Without food, other activities cannot be done. You cannot do your work in your empty stomach. You need to have your stomach full in order to work properly. So all the countries, they wanted that they should be self-sufficient in food. Number A. Number B, look at, during 19th century in Britain, 19th century, self-sufficiency in food meant low living standard and social conflict. How come? So surprising. Self-sufficiency in food means lot of activities should be done there, lot of progress should be made, but it happened just the opposite. In Britain, during the 19th century, self-sufficiency in food meant lower living standard. The living standard has gone down, and social conflict. There was a conflict, or there was a fight, quarrel, or misunderstanding in the society. Why was this so? Why? It happened like this way, just the opposite. There should be progress. In self-sufficiency in food means progress. But here just the opposite happened. Why was this so? Let us try to understand. Let me explain. From late 19th century, listen carefully and try to follow. From late 19th century, population growth had increased. The population growth has increased. Demand for food. There was a great demand for food because the population had increased so much, many-fold. Urban centers in the cities, town areas, industries grow, urbanization took place, industries started setting up. Many industrialists, they started setting up industries. And the demand for agricultural products went up. Automatically, when the urbanization took place, when many buildings and cities were being built by the labor, they require food. They cannot work in an empty stomach. They had to have their food. And industries were also set up. It grew. So more laborers came to the cities for work, and there was a demand for food. Agricultural products went up, pushing up food prices. The food prices have gone up. The poor people were unable to purchase the food grains. The food prices were very high. You see that? Number B. D. Under pressure from the landlords. The landlords, during this period we have talked about in class 9, the enclosure movement during the late 18th and 19th century. Enclosure movement we have learned about. So during this period, under the pressure from landlords, because they wanted to grow more and earn more profit. So under pressure from landlord, the government restricted import of corn. The corn was imported from Australia, from Canada, and from America, and even from Russia. 3-4 countries provided corn and food grains to the European countries. Once the food was imported, the local landlords could not sell their product. So they pressurized the government to stop the import of food grains from other countries. The government was under the pressure of the landlords. Do you know why? Because the landlords were paying the high taxes to the government. So the government was bogged down. The government had to listen to the landlords and they stopped the import of food grains. And the landlords and the big farmers had the monopoly. They increased the prices of the food grains and the poor people find it very, very difficult. And even the industrialists who set up industries and urban dwellers, the people living in the urban areas, they were very much unhappy with the policy of the government. Restricted import of the food grains made them angry. And the industrialists, under this unhappy with high food prices, this we'll talk about. Under pressure from landlords, the government restricted the import of corn law. This is also known as corn laws. This is also called corn laws. Now we'll talk about unhappy with the high food prices, because the landlords and the big farmers, they had the monopoly to increase the food prices because they want to earn more and more and more profit. So how could the laborers or workers work without food, because they could not purchase the food? There's such a high price. So the industrialists were not happy. Urban dwellers were not happy with these. So urban dwellers and industrialists forced the abolition. Abolition means removal. Forced the abolition of corn laws. Again, the industrialists and the urban people, the city people living in the cities, they forced the government to remove the corn laws. And the government was forced to remove the corn laws. And consequently, now the food could be bought or imported from other countries at a very, very cheap rate. Now the food could be imported more cheaply than produced within the country. To go grow food crops in England, it was more expensive than imported foods which was brought from other countries. So consequently, what was the result? What was the consequence? The consequence or the result was vast stretches of land were left uncultivated and many people became unemployed. Thousands of people, hundreds and thousands of people who used to work in the field, in the big landlord's field, they were unemployed because the food was imported from outside, which was much cheaper than to grow in England. So that means most of the lands were left fallow, uncultivated, left uncultivated. Consequently, thousands and thousands of people were jobless. They were unemployed. That was the consequences. Now, more things happened later on. I will continue this in our next class. This much for today, and study regularly at home. That's all for watching the video clip. You can copy this out, put a pause and take the screenshot and copy this out. It will help you to understand more clearly. And while explaining in the class, you listen carefully, try to understand what it means, so it becomes very clear for you to understand, so that you would be able to answer any type of questions. Whichever type of questions is asked, you can able to answer easily. So only thing, you need to listen and follow carefully. That's all for today. We'll meet in the next class. Thank you very much for watching.